Welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. In this video, we're going to look at a situation in the realm of our personal health that's getting some coverage by the MSM that tends to, in my opinion, invite some fear porn, in other words. Let's take a closer look, and a tarot look at white lung syndrome. Okay, I've got a compilation I'm going to. It's not extensive. There's lots of information out there. I did think these articles I chose were fairly non-alarmist and informative. And if you'd like to view them closer yourself, you can follow the Facebook link that will be in the video description box under this video. 1 second while I go to that share screen. Okay, here is a picture of an x-ray, a chest x-ray of a patient that has pneumonia. What they're talking about when they say white lung syndrome is the fact that when you do x-rays to check for pneumonia, often the area is white. And as I was reading, I discovered that actually, even after things are clearing up, that white area can continue for quite some time. I thought the most important fact to point out here is that while they're bandying about that term, white lung syndrome, it's not a new disease. It's not something new, okay? It's not a new respiratory disease. It's simply a term that's being used to indicate pediatric pneumonia, childhood pneumonias. And they also emphasized that while, yes, there is an uptick in the number of cases that are being reported, and that may be due in part to the fact that people are getting tested for it so much sooner when they have some respiratory issues instead of waiting to see if they're going to get extreme. There has been no increase in severity of symptoms even when children are diagnosed with pediatric pneumonia. It is not tending to be more serious than in years past. Okay, now I have an AOL.com out of the UK article about the white lung pneumonia. I also chose one that I really like from Prevention. And then there's this one here in newsd.in. So there's several, and you can read the ones I picked or choose your own. I would advise, as always, if you see a title that says everything you need to know, it's probably not. If you have a title that says shocking information about, just bypass it. It's fear porn, you know that just from the title. Again, white lung syndrome seems to be talking about and only about pediatric pneumonias. And while there is an uptick in the number of them, to the point that it may be considered at some point an epidemic, the severity of the pneumonia that's being diagnosed is not more than in years past. So I have to be very careful about how I phrase things, but in this case, because YouTube has a strict policy about medical information, I am very sure that so far I've simply given you some facts that can help you look a little more into the subject without feeling anxiety or alarm. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a health professional. If your child has special needs involving their respiratory system, follow whatever your health professional tells you to do, okay? One other thing I noted as I was reading, there is not a specific jab protocol for this ailment for children. So again, if there's colds or flu that hit your household and it seems to be severe enough to get tested for this, follow whatever your doctor says. But now, I'm kind of convinced just from what I read that at this point, there's nothing shenanigan related to this uptick in childhood pneumonias. But let's ask the universe what they want us to know, what the universe wants us to know about childhood pneumonias this season, and season meaning, you know, the winter season, flu season, cold season. If there's insights and information that I've overlooked that the universe wants us to know, let's find out. we are looking for insights and information about pediatric pneumonia, which has been kind of labeled white lung syndrome, but that's not a new respiratory ailment. It's just simply a new nickname for pediatric pneumonia. Let's see what the universe wants us to know about this situation in this current timeline and for the situation in throughout the across the planet. Okay, we have the Four of Wands, Death card, Four of Pentacles, the Emperor. Got a couple major arcanas already. Here's another one, the Empress, Two of Wands, and the Eight of Swords. Okay, let's look at these cards. And I was thinking that there was no shenanigan element to the pediatric pneumonia situation. And it may be that indeed it has been augmented a little bit. And we've got some intercession going on to make sure that that's not too effective. Okay, so let's look at why I'm saying that. The situation, first of all, here with the Four of Wands, that's a really good card. That's a card of agreement and just good connections and very positive. It is being added to with the Death card, which speaks of long, slow changes. So they have somewhat changed the agents that cause and it seems to be a bacterial pneumonia, childhood pneumonia that's been going around. And yeah, there's been a little bit of change, not nearly as much as they had hoped for. Let's say why I say that. In the recent past position, we've got the Four of Pentacles, which talks about kind of like being frugal and managing your resources well. And so the rollout, the successful augmentation of any agents that are causing this problem have not been used to the extent that they may have originally planned. Why? We've got the Emperor card right here in the middle. This is one of our top white hat alliance cards, and just kind of a nod that not the children, not the children. The whole point of the whole White Heart Alliance movement is the children, and slowly changing our world to where it's safe for them to grow up, to retain their innocence, to be nurtured, loved, and cherished. And so even though there were some shenanigans attempted, it wasn't very successful because of this element of White Heart and Alliance intercession. And that alliance, understand, that can be everything from the divine to benevolent off-world to just the fact that there's agreement and cohesiveness across countries, just with these aims of sovereignty and freedom and protection for innocent life. Now, let's look at the near future. This is looking good. We've got the Empress showing up. She's the divine feminine. She may even be an indication of new life and very good loving energy here, divine feminine, kind of offsetting any of the shenanigans stuff. Okay, the insights card on either side are interesting. We've got the worldwide, okay. Yes, while there is an element of newness that has been behind, even though we're hearing in the news that there's an increase in the diagnoses, but there's not an increase in the severity of them. We can look for the fact that there's going to be cases. This is going to occur at this uptick in our children all across the planet. Okay, the Eight of Swords, kind of an interesting card here to show up here. because that's indicating to us that there is, first of all, the truth is they're not going to be able to market the fear porn as successfully as they wanted to. And even though they'll try, the truth is available to us. Understand always, this card indicates that there's a willingness to have their eyes looking away, but all you have to do, because she's not tightly bound, she can throw those things off and look clearly at what's going on. But she's choosing to for right now. And some people are choosing to listen to the mainstream, get anxious and alarmed, and that's not going to do them good, because, and ultimately, in comparison to the worldwide health issue of 3 years ago, this is just, other than the fact that it does seem to be the pediatric pneumonia is on the uptick. It's not going to have the effect of the mandates and things like that, the draconian measures that were rolled out in the past. So that's good. Let's get 2 more cards and see if there's further insights the universe wants us to know. Okay, we have the 10 of Swords and the King of Cups. Again, kind of confirming that, yeah, even though the mainstream is telling us, and I wanted to believe that, excuse me, I'm going to have to stop the video and cough. And I didn't stop it in time, so you heard me. I've been getting over a respiratory ailment of my own. So, okay, so even though I wanted to believe that there wasn't some shenanigans involved, yeah, the situation is being, they're trying to capitalize on it. And like I said, this bacteria that is making an increase in the incidence, although thank goodness not the severity. Yeah, there is a tricky element to it. The 10 of Swords indicates an ending. So this whole situation is not going to last very, very long. So we're already close to the spread being as extensive as it's going to be. Now, understand, I say that because you can pick up the infection and it's several days before you have symptoms. And if you're a sensible parent and your child has symptoms of respiratory ailment, you're probably going to treat them at home unless they have health issues, until you know that there is a need to have trained medical intervention. So the numbers are going to increase for a time, but not for ever and ever as the shenanigans gang may have hoped. And I hope that part of that reason is because our world is getting closer and closer to some fabulous changes. Recap. Before we do, I apologize. I tried to turn my video off when I needed to cough and I didn't. So that's on camera and recorded for posterity. I apologize though for doing that. I try not to cough or sneeze on camera. The question we posed to the universe was, we were asking for insights and information about the pediatric pneumonia situation that it's been very well documented in China, or supposedly. I haven't been there personally to witness it. And there are cases in Ohio and in Massachusetts, which is just south of me. So I was interested in the topic, did a little reading, found out that this white lung syndrome is actually just a nickname for pediatric pneumonia. There's not a new ailment on the horizon. That was nice to hear. Now, I was a little surprised because the cards indicated that there was a little shenanigans involved with this uptick. Okay. Luckily, even though there's more children being diagnosed with pediatric pneumonia, the severity hasn't increased. And we can thank the white hearts for that. Okay. They're very, very focused on keeping our little ones safe or getting them safe if they aren't, and having them be the least affected by collateral damage issues in this struggle to free the human race and have us be on a path that more closely aligns with what our Creator intended. The near future was looking pretty promising. We had the Empress showing up saying that there's just divine loving energy working to keep the children safe, again, making sure that the severity isn't more than the ailment has had in the past. That was beautiful to see. Did give a nod that it is going to be, there's going to be incidences of pediatric pneumonia recorded worldwide. And while the shenanigans gang may want this to become the new normal and cause ongoing issues for years and years, it's actually going to be, at the end of this cold and flu season, it's really not going to be much of an issue. So that was kind of what the read told us overall. Again, I'm not a medical professional, just an interested human. And if you have a family member that has a health issue, you work with the health professionals you trust and pursue the protocols that seem right for you. Okay, I don't want anybody to say I told you not to go to the doctor or to do this or that, because that's not the case. Again, you use your common sense, your logic, and do what your family needs to be as safe and healthy as possible, or to recover as soon as possible if they're not. And I hope everyone who does have a respiratory ailment, including the last few days myself, I got my yearly cold, and I'm convinced that that's all it is. Anyway, I hope that everybody gets back to 100% very, very fast if they have any kind of issues or ailments going on during this cold and flu season. That's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time and attention, and the fact that you're willing to consider information from the tarot cards, as well as using your own logic and discernment on current events. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And while it is, maybe not an avenue for insights and information that we might have thought about a decade ago, with the way things have gone with mainstream media, they're way more accurate. So until next time, love, light, and everything bright to each and every one of you. Bye.